The Eastern Sierra News, brought to you by June Pie Pizzeria, serving legit New York-style pizza in the Eastern Sierra.
Deb Murphy filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. Given the rash of public safety power shutoffs in the past months, checking generator viability is a good idea. That was Mono County's Park and Facilities Superintendent Joe Blanchard's job. What he found was $47,500 worth of generators was necessary to keep critical functions functioning. His report was presented at Tuesday's County Board of Supervisors meeting. The supervisors put the purchase of a $25,000 generator for the jail, which also houses the 911 operation, at the top of the list, directing Blanchard to get that done. The good news, all 20 of the county's generators were put to use during a recontested PSPS. The less than good news, weaknesses were exposed, according to Blanchard's report. The goal, Blanchard said, is for county offices to run normally. To do that, generators were needed for Annex 1 and 2 at a cost of $12,000, one in probation, $8,000, a $2,500 unit for the Medic 1 garage, and additional units at the county Sierra Center offices and social services, both in Mammoth. Mono has a $153,000 grant to deal with PSPSs, but Janet Dutcher, Auditor-Controller, explained there were some strings attached, including coordination with the town of Mammoth and the preference for clean energy. The supervisors okayed the jail generator. Supervisors Fred Stump and Jennifer Kreisboth pushed for generator support at other facilities, since all they delivered essential services or could be used as shelters during power shutdowns or other emergencies. We thank Deb Murphy for that story. Sierra Wave received a letter from Sarah Floor, Communications Manager, and signed by Graham Noss, Executive Director, California State Association of Counties. He states, on behalf of the California State Association of Counties, CSAC, I want to congratulate Mono County Supervisor John Peters, who was recently honored by our statewide association with a 2019 CSAC Circle of Service Award, of which only 5 were presented statewide. Supervisor Peters' leadership on complex mental health and human services issues at the state level benefited counties and residents across California. Thank you, Supervisor Peters, for your ongoing commitment and leadership to Mono County and California. Congratulations, Supervisor Peters from Sierra Wave, Alt 92.5. Deb Murphy filed this story on the need for more staffing at Mono Lake. State park staffing at Mono Lake fell off when California hit hard times in 2011 through 2013. While the economy has come back in spades, funding for park rangers at the site has not, and the area has suffered from the neglect and vandalism. Former park staff and representatives from the Mono Lake Committee and Friends of the Inyo made their case at last Tuesday's Mono Board of Supervisors meeting. Supervisors Bob Gardner suggested the county could get some action by being the most annoying. The state has a surplus, he said. There's no reason why they can't provide the staffing. Retired staffer Dave Marquardt went into detail. When the lake was elevated to state park status in the early 1980s, there were a few thousand visitors with one full-time ranger and a seasonal worker assigned. Today, the park draws more than 300,000 visitors overseen by one ranger assigned to the northern stretch of the Inyos. Marquardt maintained Mono Lake needs a park ranger, peace officer with the ability to enforce the laws governing the park. With no enforcement ranger, visitors are free to climb all over the tufa towers and leave with bits of tufa as souvenirs. Osprey nesting areas are being disturbed as well. Mono Lake Committee Executive Director Jeff Micklin told the board Mono Lake is in the top 25% based on the number of visitors. My guess is it's in the bottom 5% of staffing, he said. As a first annoying step, the board passed a resolution in support of a full-time ranger peace officer at Mono Lake. Thanks, Deb. It's a great reminder to leave things better than you found them when visiting sites in the Eastern Sierra. Mono County Health Department and Inyo County Health and Human Services issued a media release concerning a Mono County resident who died of the hantavirus infection. North American hantavirus is also called Sin Nombre virus. This is the first fatality caused by hantavirus this year in California and the third confirmed hantavirus case in Mono County in 2019. This tragic loss is a reminder of the risk of hantavirus in the Sierra, a known region of exposure in the United States. People may catch hantavirus by inhaling virus that is shed in mouse waste, urine and feces, of infected deer mice. About 1 in 3 people with hantavirus infection die. One cannot catch this virus from another person. Exposure to hantavirus typically occurs indoors where mouse waste may have accumulated. Opening up seasonally closed cabins, homes, and outbuildings during late spring and summer poses our most common risk of infection. However, this case, and a non-fatal one which occurred in January of this year, demonstrate that infection can occur all year round. State and county health departments experts have investigated the case patient's residence and place of employment, finding evidence of mice in and around the home. Exposure at the workplace in Inyo County was found to be unlikely because minimal signs of mice were found. Hantavirus illness begins with a fever and flu-like symptoms such as headache and body aches, typically 1 to 5 weeks after inhaling the virus. Gastrointestinal symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain are common in the early part of the illness. Respiratory symptoms, including cough and feeling short of breath, are not present at first but may develop after a few days, signaling increased chance of deadly respiratory and heart failure. When people start having trouble breathing, their condition may rapidly worsen to become critical. There is no specific treatment for hantavirus infection, but high-level intensive care has allowed many people with life-threatening illness to survive. Diagnosis and timely transfer to higher-level hospitals is challenging as the disease can progress rapidly before diagnostic testing can be completed. Most people who become ill with hantavirus report some exposure to rodents in the preceding weeks, typically while cleaning a room or a shed that has been closed up for some time with mice living there. To decrease risk of hantavirus infection, open windows and doors of a potentially contaminated area and allow it to air out for at least 30 minutes before cleaning. Sweeping, vacuuming, or other activities that stir up dust and dirt that may contain mouse waste should be avoided. Spray rodent carcasses, nests, droppings, and other potentially contaminated items and service with 10% bleach solution, 1 part bleach with 10 parts water, or a disinfectant made to kill viruses. Check the label. Allow the solution to sit on the material for at least 5 minutes before wiping. Mice incursion in vehicles may also pose some hantavirus risk, especially if mice infest the heating and air conditioning system. Inspect vehicles for rodents. It is prudent to minimize mouse entry points at home and at work, although it may be challenging to completely mouse-proof some buildings. Mice may enter through very small gaps under doors or around windows and where conduits and vents pass through walls. Heating and air conditioning ducts should be periodically inspected for holes. County Health Department and environmental health staff can provide advice about dealing with specific situations encountered at work or at home. For more information, contact Dr. Tom Boo, Mono County Public Health Officer, tboo@mono.ca.gov, or call 760-924-1828. Or Dr. James Richardson, Inyo County Health Officer at inyocounty.us, or call 760-873-7868. We have that complete story at sierrawave.net. We will be back with more news, update on Bishop Broncos football, and Dennis Mattinson's weather.